Hey, Brittany, just taking a look at this. I think it looks pretty good. I would say it might be a little busy. Um, might need to remove, maybe removing some of the stripes where they're not absolutely needed would be helpful. Also, the font, I think, needs a little bit of help. Just in that there's a lot of uppercase, and then you have lowercase here, and then that's like condensed. This is maybe similar. Is it exactly the same as that? Okay, that's the same as that. I don't know if the leading is the same. Let me see. I kind of got this. So we want the leading to be the same too, hopefully, throughout all of these text boxes as well. Which you do have that. See, this one is probably, it's a little different. Oops. It might be good to make, oops, gosh darn it. It might be good to make this text the same as this text, except for just bold, maybe? If there is, just make it a bold. So make it the same, lowercase, demi-bold, 15 point with 20 as your separator, and just make it bold. Because even the uppercase, all uppercase with lowercase, ends up looking busy. So I would just simplify your fonts all the way around. And then even the header and footer. This is a little too close to the edge, I would say. Maybe if this is its own thing down here, the silent witness, if it's its own section, you could leave it gray, but I almost wonder if it wouldn't make a little more sense to just kind of make it its own color down here. Maybe something like that, and then maybe putting this up a little bit. And I don't know, maybe silent witness is its own category. But you already have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So I would almost say, I don't know, treating that as its own category down there might be not the way to go. Also, like, just, oops. Let's see, all of these text boxes too. Let's see. I would say, put a return in here. So that it looks a little bit more like that, and then move this up from the bottom so it's not so close. And you do have the rain logo in here. Maybe you could put it here or something like that, and then just move all this over to center it. Yeah, maybe something like that. And this font is a little bit problematic for me. I just think when I look at it here, this font is just not, I don't know if it would help to just, maybe you should just make it Adriana condensed and just make it the bold. I don't know, there's just something about this font, especially all uppercase like that, just doesn't really work super well. A look through the numbers, I mean, you could just get rid of that and just have these two things here just to kind of simplify it a little bit more. This could even be maybe turned up, and maybe you wouldn't even have it screened out over what you have behind there. I think you do have an image, but I almost wonder if the image is totally lost. Just because of the text that covers it. You can't really see that image super well anyway, just because of the sorry, I'm just kind of experimenting here and then I got confused. But I almost wonder, if you get rid of that extra text, you can see that image under there a little bit better. But considering how much information is going on in here, I wonder if it wouldn't just be better to have this completely just one color for now. And I would actually size this down a little bit. It's a little too close to the edges. You know, maybe something like that. Center it down there and change these fonts. It's just, or maybe it just needs more leading. You know, it might just be a leading issue. Like maybe it just needs more space. All of a sudden that really went and jumped like crazy. Maybe something like that instead. Actually, that looks a lot better. So it might just be a leading problem. They might just be too close. I think you're trying to save room. So this could potentially be, oops, sorry. This could be potentially on 2 lines, maybe. 90% of sexual assault victims on college campuses do not report the assault. So college-age victims often do not report on college. Okay, female students. So this could maybe be on are less likely to report. You could say, you know, like this maybe, just to get it on, you know, 2 lines, and maybe you do it like this, you know, so that you can, and then you might be able to make yourself a little bit more room. You could say don't, even though do not probably does sound a little bit better, but it's slightly, you could say like this maybe. You know, it may not be totally, but maybe something like that, just so you can make yourself a little more room. Sorry, I'm not trying to make a super long video, but it's just how it's going today. At one university who self-reported acts. Let's see. I would maybe think about taking that out, because I don't know how much that actually has to do with not reporting. These two do. So, I mean, we could, you know, maybe center that, or be nice to get this a little bit bigger too. Another thing you could do is you could, I would say just get rid of that other thing and then just have these two in this section. I would make this bigger, this graph, so you'd have to go to Object, Transform, Scale, and just change the size here. Try to get that as big as you can, because the text, you know, is possibly hard to read. And then that might mean you have to bring this all down, you know, so that you have more room. It's just a matter of kind of fine-tuning things. I did have I wonder if we can move this. That doesn't work. Okay, I did have a student move this separately, and she was still able to edit her graph. I don't really know exactly how she did that, but I want to get that away from there. And we do want to maybe just create more space here. I did more there than I did here, but this looks better than the tightest option anyway. Yeah, and then spring semester. I think you could probably shorten that a little bit. Just to, the shorter you can get things, probably the better off you'll be, just because save on a little bit of time. And not just time, but I meant to say space, honestly. You know, if you're doing it this way here, we could do it this way here too, just to kind of keep it similar in both sections. I don't know if these are lining up anymore. Use the alignment panel to line those up. Yeah, and I don't know, probably just move. Maybe these could be on 2 lines so that this is smaller, so you have more room for this section. And like I said, try to get this text to match what you have here. And if you have to put a bold on it, then you can do the bold, but I think having everything uppercase, it might be something to do away with. Let's see. Also, maybe we could shorten this. Okay, so I've done a little bit of tweaking. To report a campus sexual assault, contact one of the following. I just took out a couple words, left that all the same. And then community crisis line, and then in case of emergency, call 911. You know, I don't know if this really needs to have that there. I was just kind of trying to go with what you had here. And then the Havertide Police Department, I did also kind of just tighten that up a little bit so that it's not anything. And then I'd made these all the same. So I think that's a little bit better as far as just cleaning it up and simplifying it. Okay, and then I did kind of clean up this sentence too, just to, if you have seen a crime committed on campus that you would like to report anonymously, email, you know, yada, yada, yada. So just kind of trying to simplify it as much as possible. I mean, maybe even some of the words in the graph here, you know, maybe a personal matter. Here, that one makes sense. Don't want to perp. Didn't want to. Yeah, some of these maybe could be. Not sure what LE means. Maybe that's obvious, but I'm not quite sure what that means. So yeah, maybe trying to kind of simplify that a little bit, but it might not be doable. But other than that, I think that's my advice for your graph. I do think that it's looking really nice. And it has a lot of information in it. This font is still bothering me even with the extra leading in there. I wonder if it could just be made this font that you're using and just bold and white, and maybe a little bit more of a contrasting color instead of this lighter gray. It could go darker, or even maybe black, just to kind of give your sections a little bit more of a I don't know, just a little darker maybe in each of those, just to make them, because everything's really similar value, so maybe kind of giving these a little bit more punch, so to speak, would be a good idea. Not sure though, that might be too much. So anyway, maybe consider changing the color up behind here, changing the font, at least the font. Anyway, I think otherwise it's looking really good. Okay, talk to you later.